Hi, everybody. It's Mike. Every once in a while, when I'm out and about thrifting, I see car radios either at Goodwill or different thrift store we go to. Even see them at the Goodwill outlet bins every once in a while. I got curious and looked them up on eBay, and some can fetch 80, $100, depending on the model, maybe a little over. So I was like, wow, that seems maybe I can get into that. But how do you test it? I don't have a car. I'm not going to take my car stereo out just to test these things. So I did some research and found a couple of places and figured out how you can test your car radio without the car. Now, before I show you this, I am not an electrician. I am not a car person. I'm not a radio person. In other words, don't do what I do, okay? Don't come to me and say, followed what you did and I blew up my house, or I got electrocuted, or I shorted out the radio I just bought. Well, all right, don't do what I do. That's all I can say. One thing about the video, again, because I'm not an electrician, I may have mixed up a term or two, but I think you get the point. And there is one part when I have the multimeter and I tell you, see, it has a minus sign, but you can't see it because it's out of frame. I didn't have it set up right. So trust me, there's a minus sign there. All right, let's get to it. So the first thing you need is a 12 volt adapter. I've learned so much about adapters since I started this. I always thought that all adapters were changing AC into DC current, but no, there's some AC adapters that just switch the AC voltage, if you will. So check to make sure you have a 12 volt adapter. That's the first thing you need. The amps aren't really that much of a concern. If it has a couple of amps, that's fine for most radios. The big fancier ones you might have a problem with. Maybe not everything's going to work, but most likely just get 12 volts adapter. Next thing you do now, I already did this, so you'll have to imagine. All right, you have the end here. Always make sure this is unplugged. So you got your end here. Cut it off and strip the wires. So you end up with this. Now what you need to do is figure out which one's positive and which one's negative or ground. And the way you do that is with a multimeter. Let me get this here. Being very careful. Keeping these wires separate. You don't want them to touch. Right, so you plug in your adapter. Set it for DC because that's what's coming out. So it's down here. And then here, I'll do it backwards. Just so you see what it means here. All right, so it's positive, and then we'll touch the negative. Oops, I'm on AC. All right, let's try this again. We got all right, so we got the positive here, and we hook up the negative. And you see there's a minus sign. That means it's backwards. So if we do it the other way around, there, and get you over here. All right, so now it's not negative, so that means we got them right, and it's a 12 volt adapter, and we're right around 12 volts. So this one is a good one. You want to make sure you remember which is the black one, which is the ground one. That is this one. You can either remember or whatever you want to do, but I just put a little tape thingy on here with a B on it so I know it's black. So that's black, that's negative, that's the ground. Unplug this. Don't leave it plugged in when you don't need to. All right, I am done with you for now. Thank you. All right. So we have an adapter. And we have our, we know which one's positive and which one's ground. So, grab your radio. This is the one I'm working on right now. Actually, I'm done working on it. It's a Ford. Now, the thing with these is you need to get a harness in the back, because most likely if you're going to find these at thrift stores, garage sales, Goodwill, whatever, almost always they won't have the harness. So you need to get the harness. The bad news is, of course, every radio is different. Now this is a Ford, and you get this particular harness. Actually, it's from a stock radio from a Ford Mustang, 2002, like 2001 to 2004. But it's also good in other Fords. So what you have to do is you look for this online, and you can get a list of different cars that work with this radio. I don't have my list in front of me, but they're all different kinds of cars. So every car that uses this radio will use the same harness. It's just that if you get another radio like this one, it's a totally different harness, which you can see. Okay. So you have to go on eBay and you search for a harness, and it's important to search. You want to make sure you get a reverse harness. Most of the harnesses online are for putting an aftermarket radio in. We don't want that. We want reverse, because we're coming out of the original one, and that'll look something like this. And you got all these extra wires, and most of them go to different speakers. But I got this harness, so real fast. I didn't get the right kind the first time. So instead of female, I got male, and it's like, well, that doesn't go right. So I'm like, okay, there's mistake number one. Mistake number two is I got the right harness, but it didn't fit. And I went around and around with the person on eBay. I'm not going to mention them. They're like, oh, well, you bought the wrong harness. It's like, no, I half know what I'm doing. This is the right harness. Oh, you must have a deluxe radio. No, this is the radio I have. This is the back of it. It's too big. So finally, they refunded my money. I lost some shipping charges in there, but I just wanted to get my money back. So bought yet another one. By this point, my girlfriend's like, maybe you shouldn't bother with the radios, because you keep trying to get up to work and things keep coming up and it's not working well. But I finally got the right harness. So we, actually you don't have to plug it in yet. Let's not plug it in. We'll deal with these wires first. This is supposed to be red. It looks pink to me. All right, so you want to get your yellow and your red. I forget which is which, but basically one of them goes to the battery, so the radio gets power, and it's like, oh, hey, we got power, let's do stuff. And the yellow one, I forget what it is, but that's okay. Just need to know we need these two wires. Now, most likely, they're the yellow and the red, but that's kind of universal, but not always. Actually, most of them will give you a list of the different colors and what they go to. So just double check that you're getting it correctly. Oh, the yellow is the 12-volt battery memory. So the yellow one is what keeps all your station presets and all that when you turn the car off. It keeps the power. So, all right, so we got that, and we want to get the black one. And again, double check on your list that black is ground. It should be though. All right, so we they come with these little caps too. So just take the cap off and twist these two together. Yeah. All right, and then we have this one that we don't need to twist. Kind of get these out of the way. And that always comes off. You know what? I'm gonna second here. I got a whole big bag of all this stuff, so I see what I'm doing. All right. Well, it doesn't really matter right now that we keep these. All right, so keep these separated. You gotta keep them separated. All right, and then you got the back here. And then once you figure out which one it goes into, slide it in, snap, it's in. The other one just, okay, anyway, that's in the past, let's not worry about that. All right, so you got these out of the way, you keep these separated. How am I gonna do this? Let me do it this way. Then you get, again, make sure it's unplugged. You get your adapter. Your positive, right? Remember, this is black, ground, negative. Your positive gets wrapped up in these guys. And we'll just do that, and then we'll just get this on there just to make sure they don't come off. And then, whoops, the black goes to the negative. Again, double check, unplugged. You don't have to put a wing nut, you can tape it, whatever you want. It's just that they have a habit of disconnecting. So, all right. So, we got the red and the yellow and the positive together, the black and the negative, the ground together. Again, make sure everything is separated, not touching. You plug it in. And voila. That's how you test a radio without using your car. Now, you'll notice that you can do all the different things with it. You'll notice there's no sound. That's because we haven't hooked up any speakers to it. So, with all these extra wires, what I did is I did buy a cheap pair of speakers. Oh, this probably shouldn't be touching. All right, calm down. I bought a cheap pair of speakers that had the 2 wires coming out of it. And again, you look on your list and figure out which is which. So it's just, I just did the front left and front right, and I put those 2 together with the speaker and tried it that way. So let's see how that worked.
Right out of radio with all of this music. It's clean, upgrade, completely professional.
So there you go. So it actually has sound. So now I'm satisfied that this works. The only other problem is the, let me unplug this. The only problem is the CD player. When I first plugged it in, CD kind of came partially out. You know, like when you hit eject, they kind of come out a little bit. And then if you wait too long, it sucks it back in. So the CD came out a little bit, and right away it sucked it back in, and I kept getting errors. And every time I tried to eject it, it would say eject error. And I couldn't get the CD out. So what you can do is unplug it and let it sit for 20 minutes, half hour. When it loses the power, eventually it resets itself. So the next time you plug it in, it's going to reset itself. So I plugged it back in. It spit the CD out a little bit, and this time I was ready, I yanked it out. Well, I mean, not yanked it out, it came out, but so then again, I tried to reset it, and I tried different CDs, because at first, when the CD sucked back in, it looked like it was working. It looked like it was tracking. I just couldn't get the CD out, but the CDs that I tried after that, it wouldn't work. Didn't matter if it was an actual CD or a homemade CD. So there are ways to fix it. You can go on eBay and on the internet, or not eBay, YouTube and the internet, and find out how to open it up. It's not that difficult. I think there's only 4 screws on this one to get to the inside. But I decided I'm just going to sell it for parts. CD doesn't work, and if the person wants to attempt to fix it, then they can attempt to fix it. So I think this one is like $40 for parts, and if it worked and everything, it'd be like $80 or something. I'm not too sure, but it's right around there. And they have to pay for shipping because it's heavy. I think I weighed this. It's like 3 pounds. So that is that one. That's the good news. Everything worked out fine once I got the right harness. The trouble I'm having now is this thing. Ugh, that my my girlfriend's dad gave to me from his Jeep. It's a Chrysler, but like I said, it fits multiple different cars. And you see in the back, they actually have 2 harnesses. Again, make sure you get the reverse harness because we don't want aftermarket. We want the reverse. And most of them will tell you right here what each spot does. So in case the colors aren't matching up, you can always look and see, well, okay, this third one is whatever. So these are all speaker ones, and these are all, whatever you want to call it, feed connections. Sound like anyone. So, all right, so I got this. 2 harnesses. I most likely didn't have to plug this one in, but I got this one. We got the red, and we got the yellow, and we got the no black. There's no black here. This is gray. This is white and black. I almost used that. You see, I took the thing off. There's no black. So how am I supposed to test it? Well, this particular radio, it's from, I think, late 90s or so. And this particular one, you attach right to the chassis itself. That's your negative. That's the ground. As a matter of fact, the labeling for these harnesses, it says right on it that if there's no black wire, grounded to the chassis. Well, I don't have a chassis. That's a problem. So you can see, let's see. I think here goes a strap, screws in, and it's like, I don't know how many feet long, if it is a foot long or whatever. And then the other end you attach to the car, and I also saw that something was clipped onto here. So I think both are negative, or both are ground. You only need one or the other. I don't know, but the point is, I can't test it because I don't have a ground, and I've looked all over for the answer. I really can't find how you test it. What I'm gonna maybe attempt is get an alligator clip, clip these, and actually clip it to my car battery, and then run an alligator clip from here to some part of the car that's grounded and see if it works, because I can't test this because I can't get it to work. So that's what we're gonna try. Well, thank you, Mike. That sure was informative. But yeah, again, I don't know what I'm doing. Don't do what I do. One thing I forgot to mention is you can test your adapter to make sure it works before you start this whole thing. I don't have the multimeter with me, but basically you got your end here. Usually, not always, usually the outside is negative and the inside is positive. The outside, the inside. So you get your multimeter and you put your red on the out, or you see, don't do what I do. Black on the outside, just, wherever, and then stick the red in the middle. Now, if you want to double check, some of them will actually say, where is it? Right here, where you can see it's telling you that positive is on the inside and negative is on the outside. So that's a way to test it. And okay, so this one's a 9-volt. So you test it in your multimeter and it should come up somewhere around 9 volts, a little under, a little over. That's okay. But that is how you test that. Be careful when you buy radios, because I got this one and I was all excited because I'm like, yes, it has the harness. I don't have to buy the harness. This is awesome. So I bought it. I didn't even look at it. Turns out that this one is a custom one. And I don't know if these wires are what they usually are on different radios. It does have the what is what on the harness, because the ground, the picture is saying this is ground, but on the actual wires it's not black. So I'm not sure. I thought I would just cut all this off and try it. I don't know how much it's worth. It's got a cassette and a weather radio on it, but I don't know if I can test it. So I should have looked more closely when I bought it. That's what it ends up being. So if you're going to try to test some radios, I wish you luck. And I think that is it. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like the video down below. And I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel too. All right, thanks. I'll talk to you later. Bye.